Well, I was just headed out to the car. I was going to the library because I put a hold on the Matrix movie. And just as I was going out, someone said, "Oh, by the way, didn't you hear? The city closed down the public library until the beginning of April." So I guess I won't be going to get my copy of the Matrix movie that I wanted to show everybody, because some people apparently never watched the Matrix and they don't understand, the parallels between that movie and our current reality. What else can I talk to you about? Oh, this hat is my Cuba hat, and if you're of a certain breed, you believe that Cuba is hell on earth. I don't know. I have never been to Cuba, but I had a number of friends that have gone there on vacation, and they all say that the beaches are white sand and the ocean is warm, and no one hassles you there too much. Apparently there's prostitutes in Havana that are dirt cheap, if that's what your bag is. What else can I tell you? Well, that just puts a big hole in my plan to help red pill the world. Red pill is from the Matrix movie, and it's when one of the characters tries to clue in another character that they've been had. In other words, they've had the wool pulled over their eyes without them knowing it. And that's basically what the Matrix movie is supposed to tell you if you read between the lines, or you have somebody very well educated like Professor Jordan Peterson give you a lecture on what this thing really means. We haven't heard from Dr. Peterson lately. He's a Toronto psychology professor, I think it's psychology or philosophy, who is universally reviled by feminists and queers. Why? Well, pretty much he says, screw you, I'm not going to go and change my languaging because you're butthurt. Butthurt means your nose is out of joint, and it's because you've got a lot of pride and ego, and you can't take a joke. You take things way too seriously. And what else? Let's see, who else we haven't heard from lately? Who else haven't we heard from lately? Well, there was all the native protesters in Canada and British Columbia that were protesting this pipeline that was going from Alberta province to ocean ports in British Columbia province, and it was crossing native land, and that was a huge news story for Canadian broadcasting, and it's completely dropped off the radar. So what else can I tell you? What else we haven't heard about Trump's border wall. We haven't heard about I was just going to go to the library and also return my books, and then I looked it up on the web, and they said, don't worry about it, keep your books, we're not receiving books. They had that book drop thing from when the library was closed, and they've boarded it up. They don't want our germ infested books to come back to the library. The staff is still working, but what the hell are they doing? There is nothing to do because there are no clients. So anyway, they're not charging us late fees, apparently. What other news can I give you? It's kind of light snow, so, for middle of March, is that 6 weeks from Groundhog Day? Almost 6 weeks, and really, well, it's still winter, but Groundhog Day never works in Canada. Just so you know, I'm in Canada. Groundhog Day never works in Canada unless you're in Vancouver, which is subtropical, or sometimes Toronto is not in Canada. We were actually thinking of hiving it off and donating it to the United States, because it's pretty much a big American city, and it's really not Canadian. Neither is Vancouver. I mean, Los Angeles adopted it. So, Americans, if you want, we're willing to donate Vancouver and Toronto to your country because we don't like these places. I mean, sure, Vancouver is pretty, but it's about as expensive as San Francisco. Ditto with Toronto. We're going to keep Montreal, though, because it's definitely Canadian, because it's French. And who else do we want to keep? Well, that's all. You can have Toronto and you can have Vancouver. And in return, we want Puerto Rico. You guys don't like Puerto Rico anyways. You don't want to give it statehood, and you don't want to. You don't want the Puerto Ricans. So we'll trade you. We want Puerto Rico. And what else do we want? Well, that's a nice sort of warm place, and we kind of want a warm place for the winter. What else might we like to have if you were willing to give us something quid pro quo? This is difficult. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. We'll take it. Yes, we'll take Guantanamo Bay, Gitmo. I know it's just a little tiny place, but we'll take it off your hands because it's in Cuba. And, what do you really need it for? You don't really need it. It's not part of your country. It's kind of on a long-term lease from Cuba. So that's what we want. Puerto Rico and Guantanamo Bay for Vancouver and Toronto. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Please leave me a comment. Please subscribe and share out my crazy wisdom from the Great White North. Remember, as far as COVID-19 coronavirus goes, you have to listen to South Park. Blame Canada!